Welcome to GEOINT 2015. I'm giving AGS members a sneak peek at one of the biggest geo conferences in the country, held right here in Washington, D.C. Let's take a look and see who's here. AGS is here with CEO of MAPBOX, Gundersen. Thank you so much for being here. And our student interns love using MAPBOX. It's one of the easiest online platforms that we can use. It's beautiful design, and we just want to hear more about what sets your platform apart. Why do students and young entrepreneurs and pretty much everyone love using this product?
Yeah, no, that's really cool to hear. Because honestly, we started building this for ourselves. I mean, it's neat. You're here in DC right now. We started right here in DC, specifically helping out NGOs, doing a lot of election work in Afghanistan, monitoring elections, being able to show visualizations of votes coming in. A lot of public health work, specifically in Africa, a lot of malaria mapping. The idea was, how can we help NGOs better leverage data? Well, you start doing that, all of this stuff quickly turns into mapping because so much of the data is geo. So it was like 5-6 years ago, and we had, basically we're like, okay, we're trying to help these guys do more and understand what's actually going on. We need better tools. And at the time, there were great tools. Esri's great analysis set tool. Google Maps, amazing in regards to consumer maps. It's like just a gorgeous map. So we didn't have these like flexible tools for us to say, hey, actually, I just want to have a really clean map, just for a visualization. And by the way, I want to just show data exactly like this and tweak out a heat map, just like this, control colors, just like this. What we started seeing was the design was the communication of your analysis, and you have to own the design to have full control of it. So that's how we started, and I think that's really what separates us.
Well, I know that personally. When I see the design that comes out of MAPBOX maps, it's really phenomenal, and it really sets it apart.
Well, I think it matters, right?
Yeah.
Now, not only have we been building up this kind of platform to let, again, we're focused on developers. So it's not like the software that you download it's more technical, but it's designed in a way to scale with all these different big data sets. So we work, if you have an existing Esri data set up, perfect. We can integrate file to your database, shape files, whatever. So you can use all your existing data. But at the same time, if you're pulling social media data, if you're working with open data sets from the government, building footprints, anything, we want to have this, like, basically canvas where you can put in your own data and control exactly how it looks, and then most importantly, publish it out, right? The map has to get on this. And so when we started, all the tools were designed around making PDFs.
Oh my gosh.
Right? But now, being able to make sure it's fast on this, and putting that in your hands so you can control the look of it, that's where we're focusing on.
And it makes it accessible, it makes it open for everyone to see it.
Yeah, so on the open side, we're doing a couple things. One, what separates us from a lot of other companies is we're hardcore on the open source side. On GitHub, right?
Thumbs up on that.
So we build in the open environment. We have over 350 repos on GitHub of our approach. We put it out in these building blocks that other companies, other developers can all watch as we build. But it's not just about open source. Open data really matters, because if you're going to do a visualization, say you have like really cool energy usage data of building footprints up in New York. Okay. Well, you need the map of New York. So where would you go from this? OpenStreetMap is one of the most incredible open data communities, and we love working with that community and investing in that. And investing in that means everything from designing better editing tools, so you can go in, trace satellite data, roads, building, all that. But like, you can actually be a company that puts in and builds open source tools and invest in open data communities, and at the same time still be a company providing like professional services. And that's something that I feel has changed in the last couple of years.
Great. And so what do you see for MAPBOX for the future? What's coming up? What's going on now? And where do you see it in 5-10 years? If you can look that far ahead at this point.
Immediate focus.
Yeah.
I don't think I can look out that far right now. I mean, what I have no question that this approach of being a Lego-like company is going to be the future of how software is built 5 years out. But at the same time, right now we are razor focused on just what we're doing in the next year. Number one, we're investing in making our maps more detailed and faster on mobile. We just did a major launch of an iOS SDK. Android's coming soon after that. Being able to swap out Apple Maps in one line of code, that, and have like a whole set of new gorgeous maps, that's impressive. Next, we need to be able to roll out a design studio that makes it easier for people to actually work with the maps. That's under a lot of development, but that's coming out this year. So, prettier maps on mobile, number one. But it doesn't actually matter how good the map looks unless you can figure out what you want. So you've got to have great geocoding.
Yeah.
We're investing massively on the geocoding front right now. And then lastly, you're going to see a lot move on the direction side of things. So being able to do custom routing of like, hey, drop a pin here, figure out the road network up to here. We want to put out these are the big building blocks that are going to allow developers to make totally custom maps. So that's where our focus is.
Thank you so much, Eric.
So I'm Matt McNabb from First Mile Geo.
Hi, I'm Steve Kashishian, CTO of First Mile Geo.
So we're an enterprise system that we're effectively trying to simplify the entire workflow end to end in multiple languages for the enterprise.
I also noted that you guys have some really nice design. So that's interesting because always when you have all this data that you take, you want to make sure that it's visually appealing to maybe it's your client that you're presenting it to. You want it to sort of translate into what you're trying to prove.
We spent a lot of time building like presentation quality documents, especially from our dashboards, so you can instantly push a button before a meeting and print it out and you're ready to go. There's no fumbling around like 4 different programs to copy and paste things in from Excel to Google Earth, which is typically what we see in a lot of organizations. Yes. It's a mess when it goes to the boardroom. And so we're just trying to simplify that and make it really clean and let us deal with the typography and the layout of things, because we think that's really important. So your findings look better when they're presented around a nice shell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that we focus on good design, I think, for a couple of reasons. One is it's really important to lower the barriers to entry conceptually as to who can use data analytic tools. Everybody that uses Google Earth now expects to be able to use mapping products. Same thing is true with any type of data visualization. And so we want the tool to be something that people feel like they can use and want to use. And then the second component of that is the end product is not just something you see on the screen. The decision maker, often the people that are using it, are decision makers. Decision makers effectively say, I don't care about your technology. Every Monday morning, I want to receive a 2-page brief that tells me the latest of whatever it is that we're doing. So we've spent a lot of time on executive briefing documents, so you can receive 2-page briefings or PowerPoints or whatever it is, so that the information can be consumed by the end consumer, the decision maker, in a way that we're used to consuming information.
That's wonderful. So what do you guys think has been your biggest sort of achievement or something that you're really proud of this year? A specific project or getting someone involved that might not otherwise have been involved in this? And you said you deal with a lot of people who maybe aren't tech savvy, but they're using these products for their businesses.
I think
we've
been very successful in getting local organizations in some of the most difficult to operate in places in the world using it. I think that, so places like Liberia, places like Honduras, Syria, Iraq, are able to do the full process from collection to analysis. And I think the fact that we've sort of bent technology to the realities of how they work and the lack of sophistication around training and mapping or data analytics, I think for us it's been a pretty good testament to the success of being able to bend technology to the real world users.
Yeah, and to the demand.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name is Shakila Mochin and I'm the Assistant Director of NOAA Cooperative Remote Sensing Science and Technology Center based at the City University of New York.
And how does this degree that you spoke about, how does that allow students to affect change in their community? How will it be able to help them predict natural disasters and really just be engaged in these programs?
So since the inception of our program way back in 2001, we have been able to evolve our program in a way that it is very multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and interdisciplinary, in the sense that students coming from any kind of background or any kind of credentials are able to fit into our program, because we try to learn anything and everything within the Earth's environment, from the top of the sun to the bottom of the ocean. So a student who may come with an interest in understanding the aerosol profiling and the air quality that affects people with asthma or allergies, they can do that by using our ground-based remote sensing instrumentations like LiDAR. Or if they wanted just to understand the health of the ecosystem, oceans ecosystem, they would be able to do that by understanding the biooptical remote sensing properties using the satellite data. So the way our program functions is to train the students both in ground-based remote sensing and satellite-based remote sensing. So they are trying to create their own models or algorithms on a specific topic that is so related to their own life, their own community, their own neighborhood. For instance, Hurricane Sandy is a great example, where students wanted to know why I don't have a shoreline or a beach, why there's a beach erosion because of these kind of storm surges. And we have worked very closely with students who have created their own community-based organizations to build up the sand dunes and plant seagrasses to build up the natural way of bringing back the beaches in their neighborhood in Far Rockaway. So these are some of the sciences that touches the lives of the people, community, and our overarching goal is not only create lifelong learners, but also engage students in the cutting-edge sciences so that they can be the better next-generation scientists and engineers. Now, we have an intense summer program for the high school students where we teach them what is remote sensing, or what is geographic information system, or what is geospatial analysis. We try to help them do some hands-on research by giving them handheld sensors, IR sensors, that they can go and detect the skin surface temperatures of some of the blocks in the Central Park or some of the blocks in Bronx, and try to correlate the data of why the temperature is so high and what is urban heat island and how does it affect their community. What does it mean to have that kind of a high temperature? Would that mean that it would increase the crime rates? And maybe that kind of data is useful for the New York Police Department, so they can connect things together by understanding the geospatial problems of the community or the region. And it's just not about the location but it's about the different environmental parameters that they're considering, that the heat and the heat index and the humidity and the wind profile. So they're all geotagging it together to create an algorithm or a project that gives them the better understanding of their community, and maybe that inculcates that interest in the students that I want to be a geospatial scientist, or I want to be a remote sensing expert because I know how to sense the Earth.
I'm Coleman McCormick, the VP of Products for Spatial Networks, the developers of the Fulcrum application platform. Fulcrum's a tool that lets anyone build and deploy their own survey forms for field services work. We do a lot of work in many commercial sectors, utilities, water, wastewater, transportation, traffic, any and everything that someone needs to deploy forms or field for. That's what we do. So the user can sign up for an account, create a survey form, deploy it to their field staff on mobile devices, and then collect data in the field, all spatially tagged, photos, videos, audio logs, and then view that in a database on the cloud in real time for workflow management